This is Gemma with Florida Homes and Loans. Today we're here with Alex with K&E AC Refrigeration. Hi, Alex.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. So can you tell me where K&E, where the name came from for K&E AC Refrigeration?
Yes, my kids' initials, they're sort of it's been my inspiration for my business kind of came from them, my motivation and everything else. So K is my son's name, Kane,
Mm-hmm.
and E is my daughter's name, Everly.
That's so sweet. All right, let's get started with some questions that some people have asked me to ask you. So the first question is the AC filter. Sometimes say, oh, it's the 1 month filter, this is the 3 month filter. Can we actually follow those, or is there a certain time we have to replace them?
It depends on the traffic through the house. This sounds kind of gross, but a majority of the what gets picked up in the air is your skin, people's skin. So if there's a lot of people living in the house or there's a lot of traffic, the filter could get dirtier faster. But yeah, it really depends. I kind of do mine every 2 months. That kind of seems to be what works for me. But it really just depends on the house. If you want to keep it on a time schedule and do it every month, that works too. Some people could do it every 3 months and get away with it. It really just depends on how many people you have in your house and how much traffic goes through there.
Okay, so those filters that you say for 1 month and those filters that you say for 3 months, are they all really the same type of filter, or is there actually?
No, so
Okay.
actually, the difference between those is the surface area of the filter. So 1 month filter will have a different pleated, like it's like the mountain shaped of the filter, which creates more surface area.
Okay.
So like a spread out filters tend to be a 1 month. If you see a 3 month filter, it has like sharper peaks in it, creating more surface area, and they tend to last longer.
Okay.
Um, there's some 2-inch filters that can last, more than beyond 3 months. But it's about the surface area. Usually it'll tell you on there what it is, but yeah, that depends on it too. Depends on what kind of filter you're getting. I forgot to mention that as well.
Okay. So let's say if you have like a 3 month filter and you have animals, more than likely you should replace it sooner than the 3 months, you'd think.
Well, possibly yes. It depends. Like you only the person knows their home. Like if you look at it and it seems to get dirty every so often, like you'll have to keep an eye on it. But if you want to go with the time, the 3 month or the 1 month, sometimes that works too. But I don't. I kind of recognize when it needs to go or sooner or later.
Okay. And then another thing, is it the ozone? Is that the wordage for it? Where you attach it to the AC and it kind of filters, gets rid of all the mold and all the, yeah.
Yes, there's UV lights, there's all kinds of other stuff. I like the Remy Halos. I've seen them in action. I see how they work. It's an ozone generator and also a UV light. So it UV filters and it ozone generates. So it puts ozone in your home and it also kills bacteria, mold, and all that stuff. Also, the ozone, the O3 is what it produces. It actually bonds to dust and debris, viruses, bacteria, anything in the air. It bonds to it and drops it out of the air. So that's why they call it air ionization. But it ionizes the air and cleans it out whatever's in there. The
Okay.
ones I deal are called Remy Halos. They work really good. They're kind of expensive compared to the rest of the line, but to me, those seem to be the ones that really, really work and are pretty well engineered and high quality. So those are the ones I like to sell, and they also have a warranty on them too.
And this is something additional to the AC, right? You just like a different.
Yeah, it's something I install. Yeah, something that or can be installed. Anybody can do it. If you're a handy person and you want to order one off the net, Remy Halo, you could do that too. But if you don't want to mess with it, you can always get a contractor or me or someone to install them for you. But they do clean the air. I have one in my house. They work very well. It kills smells really good. Um, they're pretty neat little machine.
Perfect. So if you have one of those, what about ductwork cleaning? Is that like a myth, do you know? Or 'cause you hear always people, oh, well, you do ductwork cleaning every year. You also
Um,
hear that it's not
they
necessary. So,
they do get dirt. I mean, dust does get in your duct, especially over time. You're talking 20 years. There is going to be dust in there. But if you don't disturb it, it kind of stays stuck in there. If you put a Remy Halo or if you put an ionization in there, it's going to keep the air clean and kind of the dust will stay in there. I wouldn't say you need it every year. If you wanted to do it, like in a new house or a new move in, maybe I'd recommend it, but it's not something that needs to be done every year. Probably maybe every 10 or 20 years or something like that.
Okay.
It's not a really crucial thing.
Okay. What does homeowners need to do to maintain the AC system?
Homeowners themselves, you could clean your condenser, basically spray it off with water, change your filter, pour vinegar down your drain line. Those are things that are important that'll keep you where you don't have to, the drain line is the biggest thing. That's what a lot of my calls during the summer is. They tend to clog up. So if you every now and then suck it out with a wet vac on the outside by the unit, or you dump vinegar in it once every month or 2 months, that'll keep it maintained very well. But that stuff's very important. Your filter, clean your condenser. That's what causes problems later on as the system goes, like especially in the summertime, or especially as time goes, 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line. If you don't keep up with those things, it does take life off the unit.
Okay. So now you're saying that from the real estate standpoint, we do see houses a lot that have a really filthy AC filter. So when we see that, we should really call you to get it inspected prior to closing as part of inspection.
Yeah, that's kind of a getaway. If you see a really dirty filter, that kind of a sign that nothing's been taken care of, and it probably needs a PM. If the filter is dirty, the drain line's probably dirty, and the condenser is probably dirty, and the system probably does need to be checked out and looked over. Because if they're not taking care of the basic thing like the filter, I doubt any of the other stuff is getting taken care of either. So it is a good idea to get it checked out.
Okay. What about Freon? How do we know when Freon needs to be filled up?
There's a point, there's like there's for a homeowner, the only way to really tell is if it starts to freeze, if it's running and it freezes up. But there is a fine line in there where there could be more added, but a homeowner's not going to know that. You'd have to get a tech out to put gauges on and do calculations and try to figure out how much it needs or how much it's missing, or if there's a leak. But the tall tale sign for a homeowner is if your AC, if it's running and it's freezing up over time, like within a week or a day or 2 days, it's definitely needing Freon. There's a leak somewhere. It's going to need to be repaired.
Okay. Is Freon something that you periodically not install, but put into the system, or is it just like a one-time thing? Or
No, you shouldn't. If you're putting in periodic Freon, it means that there's a leak. There's a small leak somewhere, and you need to get it fixed. And Freon is, especially the last year, even the 410, the new one, has gone up about 600%. So if you got to keep adding gas, it's very, very expensive. Freon is not cheap anymore. Not like it was even a year ago. It's very expensive. So if you have a leak, you need to figure out. You need to get a tech over there, and you need to get it fixed.
Okay. Let's see what else there is. Is there a way to know what size AC system is supposed to be in a certain home? Like, does it go by square footage?
For an older home, you can go by square footage. It's usually 1 ton per 500 square feet. Now that's different if it's a newer home and it's an energy efficient home, or if you have certain insulation, or if you have the spray foam. The spray foam insulation changes all that very much so. Then you'll have to do an energy calculation. But if it's an older house with, say it's a house 20 years old and it's 2,500 square feet, that's going to be a 5 ton. If it's 2,000 square feet, that's going to be a 4 ton. But if it's a newer home and you have these little energy efficient ratings and radiant barrier and things like that, like my home, for example, is 2,100 square feet, and I have radiant barrier. I have a lot of different energy star features, so my system's only a 2.5 ton. So it really depends on what kind of house you have. If you have a new home and you're thinking about upgrading the system, you might want to get somebody to do an energy calculation. Because it's not going to be what you think. That formula is not going to work.
Okay. And then I guess that comes down to the returns. I've noticed some clients are saying, oh, they need additional returns from where the AC is because I guess the AC is not traveling to the other side of the house, and the older homes don't have as many returns as supposed to have.
Yeah, some houses have open returns, so they have one single return in the living room, and it sucks all the air from there. And either the design or how they did it isn't right. So sometimes returns are needed. That can get costly depending on how you do it. You can do little bridge returns through the walls sometimes, and other times you have to run duct all the way back to the unit. But that can get expensive. If they didn't put the returns in the house, the builder or whoever did it, it's kind of like a poor design, and it's, and I don't know why some builders do it. I don't know why some people plan it like that. Probably because it was easier or some reason, but it's not the right way to do it. So it depends. Like returns are a big factor, the right return also. And I do see a lot where builders or designers just don't do it. They don't do it right. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure. I think cost saving, and then you run into these problems later on where you're not getting the airflow to a back bedroom because the return isn't right, or it's so far away from the main return at the system. So yeah, that matters too.
Okay. How long do AC systems tend to last?
A good one, a high quality one that you pay good money for, like a Carrier. I'd say the Carriers are the best. I would expect 20 years, especially if you take care of it. And if you really take care of it, you could get beyond 20 years. I've seen 25-year-old systems. I've seen 30-year-old systems. But a lot of times, a lot of systems, the cheaper ones, and I don't see people take care of them. I see them last 15 years or less. But so that can happen too. It just depends on the care that's taken, and it also depends on the quality of the system. Just like if you say you got a Toyota over a cheaper car like a Dodge or something, you might get more years out of the Toyota than you would the Dodge. So that depends too. But yeah, I would expect if you take care of it pretty good, I'd say 20 years is a pretty good. 18 to 20 is a good expectation. If it's cutting off any sooner, or if the unit's failing any sooner, it's probably because it wasn't taken care of.
Okay. What about mismatched systems? Is there a downfall for that, or is it okay having two different systems or two different Carriers?
It depends on the if you mean mismatched like in tonnage or brand.
The brand.
No, that's okay as long as the tonnage matches and they're the right setting for each other, the right AHRI, that shouldn't be an issue. Now if they're really mismatching, if you got a heat pump or if you have a straight cool system with a heat pump air handler, that kind of stuff matters. A lot of times they'll still work, but you're going to lose SEER, or you're going to lose efficiency, and you're going to see it on your power bill maybe.
Is there anything else you want to add to what homeowners should or shouldn't do with AC systems?
I would say just take care of them. Make sure they're, some people, they say you need a maintenance every 3 months. I don't think so. If your unit's in very heavy use, maybe every 6 months, maybe even once a year, get it checked out. You don't need the 4 times a year, or sometimes not even twice a year. Once a year is good, especially if the homeowner's changing filters and keeping vinegar in the drain line. Those are the basic things you can do or even just every now and then spraying it with the hose outside, just washing off the coil and making sure it's clean. Those are all great things that a homeowner can do. And then, if it's acting up or you think something isn't right, get it checked out every now and then.
Okay. And then as for the vinegar, how often would you say we're supposed to pour vinegar down the line?
Maybe once every 2 months, once every 3 months, something like that.
Okay. And then I noticed your name also states refrigeration. Can you elaborate on that?
So I also do ice machines. I also do reach-in freezers, reach-in coolers, walk-in coolers, walk-in freezers. I work on all that stuff. I also work on chillers. So I not only only home residential systems, I do all that stuff as well, and that's considered refrigeration. That's a little bit different, different refrigerants, different temperatures, different principles, but they're kind of the same thing. It's a compressor, it's a evap coil, it's a condenser coil, so things like that.
Okay.